Hello and welcome to another songs video. This is sort of tradition round here. We will do an album ranking and we will do a song ranking afterwards to sort of reflect our favourite tracks from each artist. And I think it is a good way to sort of keep the positive, because this isn't the only time, if you're not aware, watch the album ranking first. Sam wasn't entirely over the moon with Elliott Smith. However, we have done rank like Roxy Music. I can't say I was blown away by Roxy Music, but the top 10 songs, I was very positive because I was talking about my favorite songs that they did.
Exactly.
And any deep dive we do, unless we do Oasis, I'm going to take some songs away.
Oh dear. Oh, how incredulous.
One day we will do it when we're both desperate for views
by the format.
But unless we're doing an all-time hated artist of mine, I'm going to find songs that I like. So I think the same applies to Sam as well, not to speak on your behalf, but
too late.
Yeah, too late. So I went first for the album, so you can go first for the songs. We're going to do one a piece and then try and remember to list off some honorable mentions, which we forgot to do last time.
Yeah, sorry, Talk. We love you, but for some reason we broke form with you.
Yeah. So what's your number 10?
My number 10 comes in from A Basement on the Hill. And it's Little One.
Okay.
Near the end of the album, after a bit of a trough, it came up and I was like, oh, look, here's a good one. And so battled out. I got it down to like a final 3 for songs that could get in the top 10. But this one won out because I don't know what it is. There's something that's I like the melody. I like the melancholy in the lyrics there. And there's something quite sweet about it. I don't know if that's going too far to say, but I think there is something, and maybe it's something about it being little. I like little. So yeah, that was a sweet little number near the end of the final album.
Yeah, I mean, what we didn't mention in the album video is that From a Basement on the Hill was released a year after he died.
Yeah, posthumous.
A lot of it was finished for him, which I don't know how I feel about that, but
neither do I.
That's
whether it's what he would have wanted.
Especially it's such a change in direction from the two before, but I don't know. I'm not an expert, as much as I claim to be, on that album anyway. So Little One actually is quite a cool track. It's quite psychedelic. It sort of reminds me of drug era Beatles a little bit, actually. Sort of 1967, sort of Sgt. Pepper era. So yeah, I'm glad you like that one. My number 10 is from my number 1 album, Either Or. This album is going to be showing up quite a lot, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
It is Ballad of Big Nothing. I think this is a very melodic track. I think it's sort of part of the really amazing A-side that I was talking about in the video, where I adore every track on that A-side and the B-side as well. So I don't know what I'm saying really, but Ballad of Big Nothing I've always really loved. And it's like kind of brings me a bit of comfort, sort of the satirical bite of the lyrics. I think it's quite cool. So yeah, my number 10 is Ballad of Big Nothing.
Decent. We've got a double bill from A Basement on the Hill here.
And a rhyme to go with it.
Yes, indeed. I meant to do that all along. I swear. So it's King's Crossing. That's my number 9. Good song. Probably it's probably the best on the album. I don't rate anything else very high. That's the last time you're going to hear from A Basement on the Hill. It's definitely the peak. It's a good song. Banger. Decent. Can't complain.
Yeah, that was on my 25 song list that I had to get down to 10. So I'm glad you brought that one up.
Oh, right. Yeah.
My number 9 is from your favorite Elliott Smith album, XO, my 3rd favorite, and it's Baby Britain. I like this song a lot. The piano sort of pop vibe to it, very catchy. Even, it's one of those songs where the rare thing for Elliott Smith where the lyrics are about sort of alcoholism, but at the same time it's sort of got this upbeat kind of vibe, and whenever it starts like Baby Britain feels the best, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm happy, good. even though the song isn't inherently happy. It's something about like on these pop albums, it's like someone who doesn't know how to be happy trying desperately to be happy, which is kind of an interesting dynamic there. So yeah, it kind of summed up in the song Baby Britain, which is what
that's pretty much what EXO is, I guess, is keeping your head above the water. My number 8 comes from Roman Candle, and it's No Name number 3.
Nice.
You can work out which one that was. It was the I think the last of the No Names.
No,
so,
those 4 of them.
Well, then it was the penultimate of the No Names. But in my heart, that's where it ended, because that's the one that's made it into the list. Good song. There was something quite strangely upbeat I found about Roman Candle. I don't know. I didn't really read too much into the lyrics. I don't know what it says. I just like the sound. And if I had to pick like an excerpt of what I liked about Roman Candle as a sound, Roman Candle. Well, I'd pick about it as the sound that I enjoyed. I guess No Name number 3 is where it peaks for me. And so that's quite a nice little snippet into why I liked the album.
I love the guitar on that track. The sort of dun 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 dun. It's like a nice little, I don't know. There's something about it. I get what you mean. It's quite sort of soothing.
Charming.
It's that and the title track of my favorite song, Roman Candle, and neither of them made the cut. So I had a tough time picking my songs for this. My number 8, we're going to Figure 8, which is my second favorite, and it is LA. One of the more rocking songs on the album, really catchy, great guitar work, kind of a sign of the more fleshed out sound he was going for on the album. And I actually have no complaints about it. It's very easy to listen to, very melodic and just great. Love it. Number 8, LA.
Okay. My number 7 comes from Figure 8 as well, and it's Colorbars. Nice song. And I really do like the instrumentation on that song as well. It's a good track, and it's one of the reasons why I think it's a pretty good album in general. I think it really hits the right notes.
Yeah, that's the one with the orchestral string section on it, I think, if I remember. I did enjoy that one. Number 7, we're going back to Either Or, and I'm going with Pictures of Me. One of his more angry songs, sort of got the big pounding drums in there, really good momentum to the track, really catchy. I just think it just powers through. Kind of a prelude to what he would be doing on From a Basement on the Hill, the more sort of aggressive, biting, scathing side to Elliott Smith. And I really enjoy it. It's quite it kind of sticks out a bit in Either Or as a bit different to everything else that was going on that album, which is probably why it stands out on its own. So that's my number 7.
Cool. My number 6, just missing the top half, is another one from Figure 8, another double bill. And it's Everything Reminds Me of Her.
I assume that would make the top 5. Interesting.
Yeah, just missed out. I guess other things that I've heard have overtaken it, but it had to be in the top 10. Had to be. Great song. And it's the second song I'd ever heard from Elliott Smith, and one of the early ones that you had showed me. So, got to show my appreciation for that. But the top 5 are pretty solid tracks. So Everything Reminds Me of Her is at number 6.
Nice. My number 6 is also from Figure 8, and it is Everything Means Nothing to Me. So
what that says about you and I and our perspectives, read into it what you will.
I think it's quite cool that you get those 2 tracks back to back. Everything Means Nothing to Me is sort of a piano-led track where it's sort of like a classical style piano. And I love the vocal melody over the top, and then it's the Everything Means Nothing to Me, and it slowly builds up, and then the massive drums come in with like 30 seconds of the song left, and it just explodes, and I love it. It's such catharsis in song. I absolutely adore that song. So that's my number 6, Everything Means Nothing to Me.
it's also quite cool that we both got the everything songs from Figure Eight at number 6, and that I said first one, you said the second one. That's pretty. That's quite. You couldn't have made that up.
No,
that's quite fun. Number 5, it's coming from Either Or, and it's Cupid's Trick.
Nice.
There's the bits that really carried that album up to getting a 5 is the really good songs on it, and that's one of them. And it's not the last time it's gonna come up, this album. So say we will. I mean, nothing from A Broken Frame or came up from in Depeche Mode.
No.
So then the
stinky album.
So there you go. That shows something about my appreciation for Elliott Smith coming through here.
Yep. So, it gets so tough now. I mean, the whole top 10 was tough. Any of these top 10, because as much as I love Elliott Smith, he made one of my favorite albums of all time. I don't think he has one of my very favorite songs, if that makes sense. He has a lot of songs that I love, but when I think of my favorite songs, none of these really come up. So the gap from 1 to 10 is nothing. Like, I love all of these songs almost equally. So if you ask me again in a couple of months, my list might be different. But my number 5, which I'm going to predict is going to be not only your number 1, but most people's number 1, Between the Bars from Either Or. It's just a completely undeniable track. Great lyrics, very vivid imagery, very nice vocal melody. It's short and sweet, which a lot of his songs are. And it sort of gets to the point and doesn't he's not trying to do anything flashy. He's just sort of saying how he feels, and then it just sort of fades out and then it ends. And it's like something so powerful about that to me, how simple a lot of his songs are, but how much they strike a chord with me. So Between the Bars is my number 5.
Don't like you calling me out as basic. Yours and probably everyone's favorite number 1.
It's a worthy choice. It's a worthy choice.
So number 4, just missing out on medal position, is another one from Figure Eight, and it's The Easy Way Out.
Yeah, nice. Good song.
Yeah. It's something that is quite morbid, but I do appreciate it. It's the easy way out, I suppose. I don't know. There's that kind of defeatism that it did hit me in that instance. I guess it's been having a rough day or something for me to be enjoying Elliott Smith in that way. But it's a good song, and there is something very soothing about the instruments in there, and it's a nice melody. The lyrics I did read into a little bit, and it's it's one of those. It's what Elliott Smith did. It's really expressed the hardest emotions. So that's why it's got a number 4.
Yeah, I like what you say about the melody. That was never really one of my favorites, but on this listen, it really grabbed me. The chorus of that song is just really catchy in a weird way, despite it being very slow.
Yeah.
My number 4, we're going back to back from Either Or, and I'm going with the closing track, which I had pointed out before, Say Yes, which is sort of just professing your love to someone, and it's very optimistic compared to the rest of the album, which I really like. There's some really cool vocal layering in this song. So right at the end, he does the chorus again, and he holds the note on Say Yes, and then another vocal comes in underneath it, and it works really well. And I just love the guitar work on this song. He's a really good guitarist, even though he never really does anything flashy. He's sort of always doing pretty standard stuff, but it always fits the song and creates a colorful texture to a lot of his music, which I appreciate. So yeah, Say Yes is just missing out on the top 3 for me.
Cool. Now, bronze medal is from the self-titled, and it's Christian Brothers.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that was the turning point for me. I did not enjoy Needle in the Hay, and I thought, oh my God, is this what Elliott Smith is going to be like all the way through? It's just this absolutely dragging down thing. But then this song really hits. And so it does. Sorry. I don't like Needle in the Hay. That was like a standout for me as like one of the worst songs. I know, but only because it was the single, and I was like, oh, he chose bad. But make of that what you will. You love that song. I don't, but I do really like Christian Brothers, and that made it to number 3 and got me through that album, it got me from feeling very despondent about listening to the album to going, oh, this ain't gonna be so bad. It's a good song, and so that's got up to number 3 for me.
It's rare. We disagree frequently on albums, but we usually agree on the best songs.
I know we haven't really got any crossover yet.
I think we're going to have at least one, but that's just my prediction.
You know.
But I will say that we do definitely have at least one, because my number 3 is Everything Reminds Me of Her from Figure Eight. There was a reason I showed you this one. It's because it is my favorite song from Figure Eight, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. So I think it's got a really nice melody. I love the acoustic guitar playing on it. The guitar is actually tuned in quite a strange way. I wanted to play it before, and I was like, oh, fuck, no, I'm not going near that. So it's a really, really cool song. Just very haunting melody. And it obviously, like, everybody's had some shit luck in relationships, so or pursuing relationships. And I think it is something that a lot of people can relate to. I know I can.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's my number 3. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic song. It could be number 1 on another day.
One thing I didn't pick up on when I brought up the song is his vocal is really on point. And then, there's something about it in this track that really does stand out in comparison to most. He really does come into his own when he's singing this. It is a great song.
Mm.
I didn't want to interrupt you, so that's why I didn't.
I'm done.
Because otherwise I would have flown on straight to my silver, and you might have had more to say than I did. So, but anyway, my silver comes from my favorite album, XO, and it's Waltz number 2.
That's also my number 2.
Yeah, we finally got some crossover. Nice, yeah, good song. There's some, yeah. I really do enjoy it. I like the way it comes in. I like the melody. There's something very comforting about that song, and I think what you find with the vibe of XO, you can find pretty much in Waltz number 2. And if you haven't got a chance to listen to the album, just listen to that song, and you'll kind of get a good idea, I think, of the vibe of the album. And if you're ready to proceed with Elliott Smith, then Godspeed. That song's a great track, and it's definitely, deserved to go to number 1 on someone's list, but not mine.
Not mine either, because it's my number 2. So yeah, it's my number 2, and I mean, again, could easily have been number 1. Kind of just gonna not shit on what you just said, but kind of undermine what you said about it being comforting. I think this is one of his most heartbreaking songs when you look into the lyrics, because reading up about Elliott Smith and his life, God, the lyrics on this are hard to sit through sometimes when you're really paying attention to them, because it's about his mother and how she was abused and became sort of emotionally just completely not there after experiences with Elliott's father. And then, of course, the chorus is, I'm never going to know you now, but I'm going to love you anyhow. And it's like, oh my God, that is the biggest stab to the heart you could ever do. There's another lyric that I picked out, which I want to find. She shows no emotion at all, stares into space like a dead China doll. And like, it's extremely heavy, but musically, it is really quite something. You're right. It takes the waltz time signature and it really sort of makes something really beautiful out of it. It's a very tried and true formula, but he does something really special with it. And towards the end, he sort of has this amazing just vocal moment, which is my favorite vocal moment on any of his songs, where the backing vocals come in and he's hitting these high notes. I'm like, yeah, this is good stuff. So yeah, it's in equal parts beautiful and harrowing, but yeah, it's my number 2. I absolutely love it. And now I'm thinking I should have put it at number 1, but we matched up, so I don't want to think that.
No, don't knock a good thing. Well, now I feel bad for not having read more into the lyrics, just enjoyed the sound really on that one.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, my number 1, I do know the lyrics from front to back. I can sing the song all the way through. It's a song I've known for a very long time, and unfortunately it's one that you've already predicted would be my number 1, and it's Between the Bars from Either Or. It's a beautiful song. It's hard to kind of pin it down in terms of like the mood. It sings a bit. It's obviously melancholic because it's Elliott Smith, but there's still something quite haunting in a different way about it, and something that's very resonant, and a song that I keep going back to, like I have done for years, even without having that. I don't know what it is, but there is something that's unifying and dividing all at once. And yeah, I think that there's a mystery to it, and that's what's so charming.
Yeah, absolutely fair choice. No, I didn't mean to dismiss it being like, oh, everyone would say that. There's a reason. Again, I've talked for ages about, you know, being quite contrarian in the past and dismissive of big hits, but it's like not all the time, a lot of the time there is a reason something is a massive hit, right? And it is because it sort of what you're saying about Waltz number 2, it's sort of the songs that really epitomize someone's. I mean, I've got Bruce Springsteen behind me, you know. Tell me Born to Run doesn't epitomize everything that Bruce Springsteen is about as a song. Like, that is Bruce. If you showed that to someone and they hadn't heard any Bruce Springsteen, they would know exactly what kind of artist he is, which I think is what the best, and that's what Between the Bars does. So yeah, a completely fair choice. I absolutely love it as well. And
it's in your list.
It is. My number 1 wasn't on your list, which once we did the album video, I kind of expected it wouldn't be. And it is Angeles from Either Or, which is my favorite Elliott Smith song. God, I love this song so much. It has got such an incredible melody. It's one of the more, it's kind of a bit more optimistic than the rest of the album, but still it's got that quite sad, melancholic feel. That so glad to meet you, Angela's. It's like such a lovely little childlike melody. And also it contributes to it, again, like I was talking about, Everything Reminds Me of Her, with how hard it is to play on guitar. God, it is impossible to play. I cannot, for love nor money, even attempt to play that. It's the really fast finger picking. The chords are changing all the time. If you just listen to that intro and how many times the chord changes in the intro, it's ridiculous. And I think it really just sums up all of his talents in such a stripped down song. And more than that, it's the atmosphere of the song, and I can listen to it whenever. And it's really helped me in a lot of points where I felt quite low to just listen to that song and think, yeah, there's an element of optimism within this, even if it is just really sad at the same time. So yeah, that's my number 1, Angeles. And there we are. There's Elliott Smith done. Honorable mentions.
Yeah. I do have 2 honorable mentions, and as I didn't understand an Independence Day. They fought like hard to get in the top 10 and very nearly did. I'd say I Didn't Understand is my number 11, and Independence Day is number 12. That's probably what I would officially. Yeah, I'm happy to go on record saying that, but of course it doesn't matter because it didn't make it in the top 10. They're 2 very good songs and very, very nearly made it in.
If only we had both decided to like I Didn't Understand a little bit more, because it was also my number 11, funnily enough. But the other 5 that I wanted to point out, 2:45 a.m. from Either Or, Twilight from A Basement on the Hill, and then a trio of songs from Figure 8 being Son of Sam, Wouldn't Mama Be Proud, and Can't Make a Sound. So yeah, there's Elliott Smith done and dusted, enjoyed by one person a lot more than another. And that's what you're going to get sometimes on this channel. If you were worried that we were going to be in perfect harmony like we were with Depeche Mode, and well, even with Depeche Mode, we have very different rankings.
Yeah,
Slow Dive and
Slow Dive.
Talk, yeah.
Yeah, we enjoyed them very much. Equally.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy that we did this, because I think that you've taken some good stuff out of it, and you know, there's nothing wrong with not liking something, but being able to formulate an opinion and make a reasonable argument over why you feel some way is all you can ask for, really. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching again. As mentioned previously, we've got 2 big boys coming up. I'm going to keep mentioning them, and Sam's his eyes are going to bulge up.
We're the big boys. We're the 2 big boys.
It's the Beatles next. hopefully say in 2 weeks' time, maybe 3, something along those lines. And then Genesis a couple of weeks after that, 2 quite large discographies.
They're going to be long videos, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're going to be long videos, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. And we will both be doing top 20 songs for both of those artists per our agreement that we settled on with Depeche Mode, because with that many albums, there's just going to be too many songs to.
Yeah, too hard to pick.
So yeah,
have to deal with that.
Yeah, you have to deal with an even longer songs video. The songs videos will be getting longer and longer each week. But anyway, thank you for watching, and Sam and I will be back with another one very soon. The big one, the Beatles. See you soon.